You know that feeling, right? When you've poured all your energy into helping someone, trying to fix their problems, and you're just left completely drained? Especially when you see them fall right back into the same old patterns? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dive into a really profound piece of writing that offers a totally different way of looking at things. What if true freedom, for us and for the people we care about, doesn't come from changing the world, but from changing how we see it? So this whole idea kicks off with this beautiful, almost mysterious statement. And this is really the central metaphor for everything we're about to explore. It suggests that our role isn't to force people to heal or understand. It's something much gentler, and as we'll see, maybe a whole lot more powerful. Let's really unpack what that means. All right, so Section 1, a new lens on life. The first step on this path is all about a fundamental shift in perception. The author describes it as if they've gained a completely new lens to see life and all the people in it through. Just imagine that for a second, suddenly seeing the world with a new kind of clarity. And it's not a harsh, judgmental clarity, it's more like a deep transparency. The author talks about it as being able to see right through to the very core of why people do what they do, to finally understand the real reasons behind their actions. And what this new lens reveals is just fascinating. It's not about spotting flaws or picking people apart. It's about seeing the internal machinery, the attachments, the fears, the secret patterns that we all have running in the background. And seeing this, the author says, doesn't lead to a desire to fix anyone. Instead, it leads to this deep sense of compassion because you realize that the net trapping them is one they've woven with their very own thoughts. Okay, so this perspective, it builds into a really challenging idea, one that might push back on our deepest instincts. The author starts to reframe everything, all of existence, including our own suffering, as a kind of divine play. And this view really forces us to question that basic impulse we all have, the need to jump in and intervene. To really get this complex point across, the text uses a very stark, very memorable metaphor. Now, this one might feel a little uncomfortable at first, but it gets right to the heart of why our best attempts to help someone can so often fall flat. And wow, this illustrates the core paradox perfectly, doesn't it? People are often crying out for help. Their suffering is absolutely real. But on some deeper level, they can be attached to the very patterns that are causing them all that pain. The drowning is what's familiar. So the text suggests that even if you dive in and pull them out, they'll often just jump right back in, because the real issue, the reason they were in the water in the first place, hasn't been resolved from within. I mean, this has to sound familiar, right? Just think about that feeling, that total exhaustion when your advice is ignored, when your help just seems to vanish into thin air. The source material suggests that this exhaustion comes from trying to fight a battle that was never actually yours to win. So here's the crucial pivot. If pulling people out of the water doesn't really work, what does? This next section is all about the incredible, almost unbelievable peace that comes when we finally let go of the need to control other people's journeys. The text gives this a wonderful name, inner ignition. It's that little spark of change that absolutely has to come from inside. You can't light someone else's fire for them. Any attempt to do that is just an external push, and it's never going to last. The desire to change has to be theirs, and theirs alone. And this chart here, it just lays out the two paths so perfectly. On one side, you have that impulse to intervene. That leads to your own exhaustion, and you get pulled right into their struggle. But on the other side, you have the simple power of just being present. That leads to peace. And this is the crucial part. It creates a space for the other person to feel a sense of wonder, to look at you and ask themselves, what's different here? That little bit of wonder, that is the seed of their own inner ignition. Which brings us right back to where we started, to that opening metaphor about the sun. If we're not supposed to be the hero who dives in to save everyone, then what is our role? Well, it's to become a signpost. Here it is again. It's so simple, but so deep. Your job isn't to grab someone's head and force them to look up. It's just to point, to show that another way is possible, to show that the light is there if they choose to see it. It's an act of offering, not an act of force.
So how do you actually point? Well, it's not a to-do list, really. It's more a way of being. First, you're just available. You're present for people. Second, you embody a sense of calm and openness. Then, if you're asked, you point, gently. And maybe most importantly, you completely release any expectation of the outcome. Whether they look at the sun or not, that is their journey. It's not yours.
So what's the payoff? What actually happens inside of you when you start to live this way? The final section of this text describes a state of just profound inner peace and stillness. When you finally stop trying to change the world and everyone in it, that internal battle just stops. There's no more struggle. That constant mental chatter about what you should do or how you should fix things, it all goes quiet. There's no more noise. And in that silence, after the struggle and the noise have finally faded away, what's left behind is just a simple, profound peace. Now, the author calls this state the emptiness of completion. And this is such a key idea. This is not the emptiness of feeling like something is missing. It's the exact opposite. It's the kind of emptiness you feel when you're so whole, so complete, that there are no more cravings left to chase. It's just a vast, boundless stillness. So, to wrap it all up, this freedom we're talking about, it's not about escaping life's messiness. It's about becoming one with it. It's trusting that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Your only real job is to be a calm presence, to point towards the light for those who are looking, and to simply rest in the radiance of your own inner light. And that leaves us with this one big question to just sit with. What if the freedom we're all searching for isn't something out there that we have to achieve or win, but it's right here, available to us in the simple, profound act of letting go and becoming one with what is?